All right. Thanks, Amber. Are we doing camera? Like, if I go on camera, is that something that?
I unfortunately, because I have to make you host in order for you to turn your camera on. So
Got it. Got it. No,
sorry.
no worries. All right. Let's get started then. Hi everyone. My name's Anna, and I'm a senior open source engineer at VMware. And today I'll be presenting about the 2022 Kubeflow user survey. And I'm also gonna do a little comparison with last year's survey results and see how that compares. So just a little background. Kubeflow user survey typically happens once a year, and the goal of the survey is to understand how the community members are adopting Kubeflow and the requirements that they have for various machine learning use cases. By understanding how the community users are using or interacting with Kubeflow, it helps us, the community, to prioritize and build better products and community around the Kubeflow project. So this year, Kubeflow survey opened up back in May, and it was open for a month and had 24 questions. Total, we received 151 responses from various community members. And out of 151, 60% of the members also took the extra time to answer the optional free-form answer question to provide feedback on how to improve Kubeflow. So based on the multiple choices and free-form answers, some of the highlights that survey revealed is that first, 85% of the users deploy more than one Kubeflow component. The top 3 Kubeflow components are pipelines, notebooks, and Kserve. And 44% of the users are actually running Kubeflow in production, and 22% of the users are running Kubeflow in the lab. Survey also showed that many of the members, 47%, are actually keeping up with the latest release. So at this time when the survey happened, 1.5 was the latest release, and 42% are running the previous release, which is Kubeflow 1.4. When it comes to gaps in machine learning activities and workflows, the top 3 gaps are monitoring models, connecting data pipelines to machine learning pipelines, and manually building machine learning pipelines. And data pre-processing and transformation are the most challenging and time-consuming. So when it comes to Kubeflow adoption, the top 5 challenges were documentation, tutorial, security, installation, and support. And the most common feedback and top feature requests that we received this year was about the need for namespace isolation across various Kubeflow resources. So to summarize, I would say a little below 50% of our community members are running Kubeflow in production. They're leveraging more than one component of Kubeflow. And currently, security and monitoring seems to be a big gap for end users. And documentation and tutorial needs to be improved to help with that and other Kubeflow adoption. So now let's take what we learned from 1.6 survey result and compare with the result from 1.3 survey. So I'm not 100% sure on when the 1.3 survey opened and closed, but the release date for 1.3 was 2021 August. So that's very similar to, that's almost a year later when the 1.6 was released. So I think we can say it's about a year ago. So this is the, so for this one is that, so the first comparison we will do is identifying Kubeflow experience levels. So in this multi-bar graph, the left side, which is green, represents the 1.3 release, and the right side, which is blue, represents the 1.6 release. So comparing the community level of experience from last year, we can see a clear shift in growing of Kubeflow expertise from the community members. Last year, many were actually running Kubeflow in the lab, but this year, we see that a lot of community members were successfully able to move their lab environment into production and even have upgraded their cluster and started contributing back to the community. So the next one, which is somewhat related, is what percentage of models were successfully deployed in production and delivering business value? The most significant changes were the 10% or less and the 100% one. So there's a decrease of 10% almost for the 10% or less answers and 100% increase for that 100% answer. So this may be related with the growth of experience and expertise in our community, but it seems that model deployment are trending towards delivering business value a little bit more. So the rest, I'm gonna do a little go over them very quickly. So which steps are most time consuming? I think the most noticeable one is the pipeline building part. As you can see, it was a huge decline from the year before, from 47.5% to 35%. And then the other maybe that is worth mentioning is hyperparameter tuning and also model building. And then the next, which steps are most challenging? So this also kind of collides with the previous, where pipeline building almost had like 50% decline. And then hyperparameter tuning and model building also showed a very noticeable decline with the new release, with the 1.6. Next, what is the biggest gap in Kubeflow? The biggest thing that I noticed while doing this was that security has jumped noticeably. So that's probably something worth looking at. And then where do teams encounter gaps in machine learning activities and workflow? Again, this is related to the 1.6 survey results that we saw. The monitoring model increased a lot from our end users. Next, do you use Kubeflow as a coherent platform? So in 1.3, about 30% said no. They only use a standalone service, but this year we saw a big decline where more people are using more than one service, one component, and using Kubeflow as a coherent platform. And this year, we actually asked for feedback from the users to understand why they prefer using standalone. And many actually have said that Kubeflow is a bit too complex for them to leverage all the components. And it's hard to manage for a small team. And there's a lot of complexity with integrating with their own tools, and they want to have a better control of security. And lastly, the last one that I want to compare is the free-form questions. In your opinion, what improvement are needed to make Kubeflow more useful to your business? And the left side represent 1.3, the right side represent 1.6. And as you can see, they are pretty much the same. They are actually identical. From what I have seen from the raw survey result, a lot of the feedback and improvement that we have received is actually very similar to last year's survey result. And I know that the community has improved on these things, but I think the end users are actually looking for a little bit more improvement on these areas. So to wrap up, one thing that I would love people to kind of take away from these results are that Kubeflow is a project that continues to evolve with everyone's help, and improving, sharing, and building a community around Kubeflow is not one person's responsibility. It's all our responsibility as maintainers, reviewer, contributors, and also as end users. As you lead or attend other community-driven sessions today, like all the breakout sessions, hope everyone can think about how much the project has grown from last year, just within a year, and take the constructive feedback that was received from the community members and help improve the projects together. And I just want to thank everyone, and especially the community members who filled out the survey. I think sharing your insight was very helpful, and I hope everyone found this useful. Thanks.